So we're on to day 3 of our watercolour challenge, and today we have got a beautiful summer sky with a sea scene in there, a little bit of a golden glow and some lovely wispy clouds. So we're going to learn how to do all of this. So we have a lovely summer sky with a few bits of wispy clouds. So we're going to start to learn a little bit of lifting out today on this sky challenge. So I've got a bit of Saunders Waterford 5 by 7 inches. It's cotton paper and I'm using rough. I'm going to do a couple of little lines. These photos will be on my Facebook group, which you can find in the description if you want to join in with the challenge, or you can just use the photo that we referenced and follow along. So I'm just going to pop in a few of the hills. This is the sea, and I'm actually going to do less sky and a little bit more land, which might be strange for a sky challenge, but the sky is just very blue at the top, so I want to just work with what the interesting parts of the sky are. Okay, so you've got a few hills. We'll not worry too much about the detail. We'll pop that in as we go along. Okay, so I'm reusing some of the colours that I used yesterday. I have got my round number 10, my round number 6 and my rigger. I will talk you through the colours as we go. So I have got cadmium yellow light, so I'll just make sure that that is reactivated. We'll need a bit of a light yellow. I've got cerulean blue, so this is about a pea-sized blob to half a teaspoon of water, tends to be my consistent mix. I have got a grey, which is made with cobalt blue and burnt sienna. You could make it with cobalt blue and burnt umber. You could make it with ultramarine blue and burnt sienna or burnt umber. So they're the ways to make your premix grey. And I've got some cobalt blue here, so that's that bolder colour of blue in the sky, a bit of water, and then I've got some sap green for the fresh of the green. Okay, so we're going to get my round number 10 and pop some nice clean water on the sky. So I've got about half and half here, half land and sea, half sky. And I'm coming down to the land and sea line. So I've got a nice even coat of water, no puddles. Then because we're working quite small, I'm going to go down to around number 6. Start with your lightest colour first. You should always start with the lightest colour first for the sky. And this is the cadmium yellow pale. You could use Naples yellow, you could use raw sienna. They would both work really nicely. You're going to get that little bit of a glow happening in there. I have got a tiny touch of rose on my palette, and it is neat, and I'm going to come in, just touch into it a tiny amount, then dab off on the kitchen towel. So what I want to do is just pop a little bit of a line between the blue and the yellow, so that I don't get a green. And there is a hint of rose in this photograph. It's just stopping me getting a green. It's a little trick to stop you getting green. Then I'm going to come on with the cerulean blue. So the lighter blue, and we don't need to worry about the cloud because we're going to lift out the cloud today. So we're just going to get a nice blue base on. Take the blue all the way across there, and then we'll take the darker blue into that. So that little bit of rose, I'm coming into it with the blue, and it's just stopping it going green basically. Then if I go into the darker blue, I can bring some of that in as well. So we've learnt about pushing down with the brush and making that circular motion to get cloud. Now we're going to learn about lifting out to get cloud. So now I'm bringing in a little bit of the darker colour, but still leaving some of that lighter colour there. Okay, so we're going little, so I'm going to use a cotton bud. You could use a little bit of tissue as well. And what you're going to start to do is dab out the cloud. So you need to keep getting to clean cotton bud. You'll need a few. And you're just dabbing, you can just roll it in your fingers. You're dabbing out the shapes. If it runs back, it's just that it's too wet and you need to carry on dabbing. Sometimes it's a little bit too wet, it runs straight back in and then you have to come back in again. Better that it's too wet than too dry, because if it's too dry you won't dab anything out at all. So you've got to capture this when it's wet. So it's run back a little bit, so I'm just going to keep going with that same cotton bud. Or a different cotton bud if I've just swapped over to a clean one. And they're just the perfect size for this sort of little wispy bits that you need to pick out. You can roll up a bit of tissue and do the same, or kitchen towel if you didn't have cotton buds. It's just a little bit more fiddly. And getting these lovely wispy effects. Take out as much as you like and take little bits out further back. Don't take a blue cotton bud into your yellow. So always go with a clean one if you're coming into the yellow to lift out. But this is just showing you how to do nice, delicate, wispy bits. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so we've got a beautiful sky that's totally dry. So we're going to come into the water now. So we've got some sea. Then I'm going to come into some cerulean blue. So that's a little bit of water on. And I'm going to come on with some cerulean blue. It's the main colour in the sky, so it's the main colour that will be reflected into the water. Nice base of cerulean blue. You'll notice that I've come horizontally. I'm going to dip into that grey. I haven't even rinsed my brush in between. I'm just going to bring a little bit of that, and often the sea's a little bit darker, especially towards the horizon line. So you take a little bit towards that horizon line. That will work really nicely. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. I'm going to pick up my round number 10. We're going to get a base in. On this greener part. So a little bit of water coming over. And then I'm going to bring in some of that cadmium yellow pale just on that front field, and then we're going to come in with some sap green. So this is all still with my round number 10, and we're just getting a base on. And then within this background area, there is a little bit of a house in that I've not put in because we've gone so small, it makes it tricky. We're really focusing on skies. It's nice to finish off a picture a little bit. I'm going to dip into a little bit of my burnt sienna, which is just sat on the palette, and just bring that in just at the front here. And then I'm going to drop down to my round number 6. And what I'm waiting for now is for this to just settle and the sheen to start to go off, and I'm going to put in a couple of walls, dry stone walls. If I come in now, what will happen is it will just explode and go flowing out, so I'm not going to do that. Whilst I'm waiting, I'm just going to start on these distant hills. So that's a little bit of the cadmium yellow pale and a little bit of the rose on that one. So there's a few little distant hills which I can do, mainly in grey. You reflect some of the sky colours within them, but mainly in grey. Okay, so I'm basically going to use the grey to pop this wall in. I'm going to start at the bottom. You can see that the sheen has just gone off enough that it's not going to go too far. You can put these in hard, but it's quite nice to practice doing them softly. Vary the pressure of the brush, but keeping it quite light. Just going to give you some really nice lines. It's a little bit of dark up here, a little bit of dark here. It's a bit of shadow really. A little bit of dark there. So I'm just picking out little bits of dark. Take some bits of dark within here as well. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. I'm going to pop a little bit of water onto these hills at the back. And I'm going to use the grey, which is the cobalt blue and burnt sienna mix. Just to help to define those. There's a few hills in here, so we will come back in with a second layer. We're just getting that first layer in there. And then with that same grey, I'm going to come along and just create a little bit of a wall here. So I know I've got that base of soft, but I now want to just bold that up a little bit. So I still want a little bit of soft shadow underneath from that grey that we did. You can pop some little bits for fence posts as well along there. The trick is to vary the height so it doesn't look too uniform, and I've kept my brush upright all the way along. So I've got a nice varied wall there. Again, the focus is the sky. We don't want to put too much focus onto anything else here. And then I've got that little bit of burnt sienna. And if I just turn my brush on the side, I'm just going to pop a little bit through as dry brushing. So that was the brush on the side holding it like that to catch the surface with the side of the brush. Okay, so that hillside at the back is now dry, so I can come back in, just create, because there was 2 layers, several layers really, just get those in so that you're getting that more sense of a distance there. But dab into a little bit of the green just at the bottom there, that's going to bring that forward. If you want to go darker, you can just bring an extra layer of the cobalt blue and burnt sienna grey just into the bottom of this wall, like so. Okay, so the last thing I want to do before I lift the tape off for the final result is just lift out a little bit of light just here. So with a damp brush, I'm just going to lift a little bit out. So just with a bit of water, I've lifted that little bit of light out there. I might do a little bit on this one as well. It's got like a misty feel to it, so just that slightly wet brush, not too wet, you don't want to take too much in that you lift loads of off, but you just, with a bit of kitchen towel, you can dab a bit off and get that subtle sort of misty effect that's happening. And there we go, so that one's all finished. So it's like a beautiful summer sky really, with a little bit of wispy cloud and a little bit of a landscape within that. So please do join the challenge. Please do find me on Facebook. I'll put a link to my Facebook group in the description, and I'll also put all of the photographs that I'm using from my students into a Facebook folder in that Facebook group, so you'll be able to find those photo references. Please do share with your arty friends. Please do post onto the Facebook group and show me how you're getting on, and I'll be able to give you some feedback.